We have completed 1 full year of travel, and one question that we get quite often is not only what our monthly costs are, but what it costs us for this entire year with everything included.
Right, so our monthly breakdowns don't include flights and that sort of thing. In this video, we're going to cover all of that.
So in our first year of travel, we hit a lot of different locations. And so to kind of give you an idea of what that year looked like, we're first going to just kind of break down all the different places that we went so you can kind of get a feel for where we hit through that time.
What our travel was like, right? We started in Spain and we started in Valencia, and we love Valencia. It was a great city. We spent a month there, but we kind of wanted to get into the beach towns. So we left Valencia and went to Alicante, and we loved Alicante. And from there, we went inland. We went to Sevilla, and Sevilla was just beautiful. It was a very historical city, and we really enjoyed Sevilla.
Loved Sevilla, definitely.
And we had a couple extra days left over within our 90-day Schengen, so we took a train north to Barcelona and spent 3 days in Barcelona.
So now our time in Spain had wrapped up. We had spent our 90 days in the Schengen, so it was time to get out. We took a flight and we headed over to Croatia, and we just spent a couple days in Dubrovnik over Christmas, or kind of right before Christmas, which was a lot of fun. Yeah. From there, we took a bus and we headed into Montenegro. We went to Kotor, and now we were back on our month schedule. So we spent a month in Kotor and took a very quick taxi ride. It was about 20 minutes, and that over to Budva, and that was on getting us back over onto the coast again.
Yeah, that was nice. Now we left Budva and we took another bus into Tirana, the big city, the capital, and we were there for 5 days. And we just kind of wanted to experience the big city there, and we had a great time. The food was amazing.
Now from Tirana, we took another bus ride and that was about a 4-hour bus ride to Saranda. And Saranda was beautiful as far as the view that we had from our place, and you're right there on the bay. You can see Greece right across from you, and so we really enjoyed our time there as well.
We got a month there, and it was also, the weather was great for that time of year. So it was a nice month-long stay in Saranda.
It was. So now from there, we grabbed a ferry and we headed over to Corfu, Greece, where we just didn't spend any time. We just grabbed a taxi and we got to the airport and we hopped a flight to Santorini. And that's where we spent another month.
And that wasn't bad at all, right? I mean, we had a great time in Santorini. It was off-season. We kind of got a little bit of both of the off-season and the on-season, so we got a little taste of each. But Santorini for a month, if you can do it, do it.
Now it was time to get home. It had been a long stretch since we had been home. It had been about 7 months, and so we flew home for about just about a 3-week visit.
Yeah, not enough time.
No, and then we were off again, and we headed to Portugal.
Yeah, we went to the Algarve, and we spent 2 months in the Algarve, and you know, that's kind of what we consider at this point our home away from home. That's where eventually, as of right now anyway, we would like to stop for maybe 3 or 6 months at a time, extend that visa, and stay down in the Algarve.
Right. So while in the Algarve, we visited Cabanas and Lagos.
Yes.
Yeah. So really highly recommend both of those places. Now from there, we got a flight and we headed to Romania. And Romania was absolutely caught us by surprise, and we absolutely loved it. Now, we spent 2 months in Romania.
Right. We moved around quite a bit.
We did.
So it was the most we've ever moved around in that short a period of time. We tend to stay a month long in each location. In Romania, we bounced around quite a bit, which isn't really our style, but we felt like if you want to see it the right way, you've got to do it, and that's what we did.
Right, and we initially were in Romania thinking that we may not come back, so we wanted to see as much as we could in that time period, and now we for sure know we will be returning.
We'll be back.
So.
Yeah.
Now from Romania, we caught a shuttle taxi, just kind of private service that took us into Belgrade, Serbia.
Yeah, we were there for 5 days. Interesting city. We had a great time. Now the big cities, we're really not excited about. However, it was a beautiful city. There was a lot of different places you could hit in that city, some great churches, some cathedrals. And so it was a fun time.
It was fun. We really enjoyed it. And then we caught a flight and we headed to Mostar and Sarajevo in Bosnia.
And Sarajevo also took us by surprise. again, the culture was amazing, something we didn't expect.
And just very, very interesting
Yeah,
history.
yeah.
Yeah. So that wrapped up our travels for 1 year.
And we're going to give you all the prices for that 1 year, including buses, planes, everything included right now. Now we're going to break down our costs for rent each month. Now we do have videos on each one of these locations in our portfolio, so check those out. We're not going to go through all of those now. We're just going to hit the highs and the lows.
Yeah, so if you want to see the breaking down of every little
Right.
expense that we spend in an entire month, that video would be great to check out. That would take a long time to do in this video.
We're not going to do that.
When we are looking for a place, an Airbnb or whatever we're going to be renting for that month, our budget is typically set around $900.
Yep.
Now we have some months that go well beyond that, and we have some months that go well below that. So our average over the year, we like to keep around $900. So this time we had 2 locations we'll kind of point out to you before giving you what that cost us total. And our cheapest location was in Budva, Montenegro, where we paid just under $500 for a month.
Right, now that is in the off season, mind you, but it was $500,
Right.
just less than $500.
And then our most expensive, which was just coming into the high season, was in Lagos, Portugal, where we paid just under $1,400 for a month.
Yeah, and it was a nicer place than we typically get. We kind of fell into it, thought it was a great price for what we were getting, so we went ahead and grabbed it.
Yeah.
So our total costs for rent for the entire year was $11,910, and that keeps us right about $1,000 a month.
So like we mentioned earlier, we don't include our transportation costs in our monthly budgeting as far as for any of our larger flights, because we just have a set aside budget. We try and stay around $2,500 each a year for those larger transportation costs.
Right.
So for our flights, this budget here includes flying from the States to Spain, flying to Dubrovnik from Spain,
Right.
you know, and all of those bigger costs. It also includes going home and then coming back to Portugal and everything. It also will include our costs for any of the trains that we took that were your higher cost trains, because at the time Spain, their train costs weren't inexpensive. It costs a bit more to get around.
Right.
So anyways, that's what you're going to see in this budget here.
Now we think we did pretty good on the flights, the cost of the flights we took. Carrie here is really good at finding those less expensive flights. Now it might require a 6-hour layover in Oslo, Norway, but
It's well worth it.
It's worth it. We try and budget this out. So for our total costs for our flights, buses, trains, we spent $4,626.
Yeah. So it kept us right where we wanted to be. So that was good.
You could probably spend more than that if you wanted to.
Oh, I'm sure you could.
Yeah.
Our next large expense and a necessary expense is our health insurance. We go with Cigna Global. It works for us. It's more of a medical plan. We don't have insurance back home in the States that we can rely on, so we do carry something that's going to cover us around the world. These costs that we're going to cover in as far as what we spent last year does not include where we just recently added on US coverage. So you will see that change coming forward. But you know, there's other options you can go with when you are doing health insurance that is more of a travel insurance,
Right.
or a lot of digital nomads or people are traveling that have insurance, say at home, that they can rely on. They use more of like a safety wing
Right.
or something like
As a
that.
secondary plan. We don't have a primary plan, so this is our primary plan. Now this plan varies with your age, your deductible, and anything else you might want to have covered. So you might not get the same quote we get, but there is a way to get that quote if you just work the numbers. And so for our total cost on our insurance for that year was $3,240.
Now those were kind of our large main categories we're going to have every single month, and then we have the other categories, which is our food, our entertainment, miscellaneous things that we pay for, our monthly reoccurring costs, and we're just going to kind of bunch those in one group for you. Like we said, you can see the complete breakdown if you watch one of the individual videos for one
Right.
locations. But this, you know, for our Food costs, they varied very much by the location that we were staying, and you would see that in those videos. Our entertainment covers anything that we do, eating out, drinking out, stuff like that, going on any kind of day trips, gonna go in that category.
Right, and this number might seem a little bit low to some of you because we're not going on a lot of excursions. You know, we're not renting any boats or anything like that. We're not on vacation. Now, we try and do some of those things as they come up, but for the most part, we're not doing that yet.
So now for the grand total of what it cost us to travel to all those locations for 1 year was $29,728.
Which breaks down to $14,864 each.
Right. And then that brings our monthly budget each to $1,238.
Yeah.
So above what we say our normally monthly budget is, but that's working in our transportation costs and everything else. So I think in general, I'm happy with that.
I think that's pretty good. Now, we did go to Croatia. We just finished up there, and we're heading for Southeast Asia here January. So we'll figure out, we'll see what we do next year, if we can beat that.
Yeah, that's the hopes.
That's the hopes.
All right, so be sure and check out this next video.
Cheers.